new job and you have that empowerment, you probably currently have a job, so you have an alternative, and I think negotiating with your current job is harder.
Can be.
Unless you have another alternative. You've already out there on the job search, you already have another place to go, which you may not want to go somewhere else. You may just want to stay there, but get paid more fairly. So what are your recommendations for that? And I guess secondly, have you ever, in your experience, seen a big negative pushback from someone going in and asking for a raise and then, seeming not appreciative and getting fired because of that?
Oh, I've never seen anybody ask for money to get fired.
Okay.
What I have seen is somebody goes in and asks for money, and then what happens very subtly over time, maybe a week, maybe a month, there's this time, and all of a sudden they start retaining you. So you start to get big ears for what I call the retaining speech. It's very subtle. The retaining speech sounds like, are you happy here? How's it going? Do you like this project? How was your weekend? It's so subtle, we miss it. It happened to me a few weeks ago, and I cracked up, and I stood up, and I said, that's a retaining speech, stop it. Because they're seeing me get all big in the press, and all these other things going on, and I was like, you know what, you guys are my biggest client, you pay me a lot of money, I'm happy. Really. What more could I want? I'm going to be here for a while, just relax. I literally said that. Her point was also, if you're getting a job, you're leaving a job and you got an offer in hand, or you think you can make more money, you're confident, kind of asking for that $10,000 more or 10% more. In this market, I will tell you right now, you can get 10% more, period, end of story. Ask for it, get it now, do it, because recession will happen again, and then we're done. You got to sit and work a place and just hang on for dear life. She said, but if you're at a job, it's harder to ask for more money. I think what you want to do is you want to slow down and look at the pattern. So in the last, let's say, 5 years, are they giving 3% increases? Are they giving 5% increases? Are they cost of living? Are they based on performance? Look at their history, because their history will also tell you budget. What can they really write the check for? Because at the end of the day, it really is about writing the check. Now, all of you need to decide, do you want to stay there? Because sometimes it's not worth $10,000 more if you have a lot of flexibility and freedom, or the job's 5 miles away, or whatever it is. You can go to your kids' games and they don't give you a hard time about it. Sometimes $10,000 more at one point in your life is not worth it. It's worth it just to take the 3 to 5% increase, sit down and be happy because it's good. They treat you nice and it's good. But you definitely want to ask. You always want to ask for that, because I will tell you why. As women, things happen. We don't ask, and then I will tell you this, life will happen. The divorce, the kid is sick, a serious health issue like cancer, and for those 15 years you didn't ask for the money that you could have had in your 401k or you could have had in savings is really important. Because I will tell you, everything changes. It's all a house of cards. It's all going to come down at any moment. Take the money. And I'll tell you something. If you're so wrapped up about the money and you're so unbearably uncomfortable with the money, take the money and give it to charity. I mean it. I seriously mean it. I do that. I do that a lot. Quietly, I do that. If somebody hands me money, I take it. Just take the money. Go ahead.
I've moved over here from Australia and I'm looking for work here. One of the things I noticed is that vacation time is significantly less here in the US.
Welcome to the US. We work hard. In fact, we don't even take the 3 weeks they give us. Yes.
So some advice that I got given from a lady I met was you can actually negotiate more vacation time when you're accepting a new role. So do you have any tips or handy things around that?
Great question. Can you negotiate vacation? Can you negotiate certain things? I hate to give a vague answer. Sometimes, sometimes not. In a big company like, Exxon, Wells Fargo, Pfizer, Intel, it's a package, and what happens is it's keyed into the HRIS. It's keyed into it, so they can't do a one-off. It's 18 days plus 7 holidays, and you're done. Now, in smaller to mid-sized companies, they can do that. In older industries, construction, some oil and gas, they can do that. Ask. All I can say is ask. If they push back and say no, that's fine. Ask for other things then, maybe flex time or other things. Other questions? Go ahead.
Question. What are some of your thoughts about people decide to leave their job for the money only, reason only the money. What do you think about counteroffers?
I will tell you, statistically, counteroffers, would you take them, would you not? I've actually written quite a bit on that subject in my book. There's a couple of chapters on that in both books. Statistically, I will tell you, 1 out of 100 will actually stay with the company within 6 months after they take the counteroffer. The employer will deem you as not loyal.
Right.
And when layoffs come, your name is magically on the list. You're better to leave the company and parlay an extra $10,000 to $15,000. Now that's a career decision too that I want to bring up today in the room. You can decide, there's safety. I'm going to park it here. I know everybody. I like everybody. They don't mess with me. You know what I mean? Like I can kind of come in and do what I need to do and leave when I need. They don't mess with me. They pay me fairly. Or, I'm 29 and I'm going to do this career hop thing, meaning you got to leave your job every 2 to 4 years, not even 3 to 5, 2 to 4, and you're trying to do these $10,000 pops and jumps. And that's a decision that you make. This is how I'm going to build my career path. This is how I'm going to build the money. Now, every time you make that pop, stick it aside. Don't have your lifestyle go up. So when I get a raise, it goes in my 401k. When I get extra money, it goes here and there, the other place. I just squirrel it away. So think about that also as a woman as well. I want to leave with one quick story about Mad Money, because I think it'll resonate with all of you, and I feel very strongly I want to give you permission to have Mad Money. Do you know what Mad Money is? It's like secret stash. So this is part of the reason I have this idea around money. When I was a little girl, money was not talked about necessarily, but it was this positive thing. So I remember being 5 and 6 and 7 and 8 years old, physically going into the bank. And the bank kind of looked like here. It was like, oh, it's like, wow, this is where they keep the money. And they're doing important stuff. And they're serious and they're all well dressed. And it was like, it's this cool thing, go in the bank. And I got a little older, 8 or 9, and my mom said, we're going to get you a Christmas club, and you'll put $2 aside a week. Well, they gave me the $2. But anyway, you do your chores, you get your $2. And at the end of the year, you'll have $100, and then you can use that for Christmas presents, and you can spend the money any way you want. I thought that was kind of cool. My grandmother, older. To me, as I got older, I realized my grandmother wasn't just my grandmother who I loved and adored, but she was an old woman. And she would always give me money, coins, constant. She would always give me money, always. And I got a little bit older, and I realized that I don't need the money. And I realized she was an old woman. I shouldn't be taking the money. And so I was a little girl, and she went to hand me the coins or whatever, and I said, the first time, I said, no, thank you. And she got mad, and I never saw her mad a day in my life before or after. Take the money, she said. I said, no, Mimi, I don't need the money. I'm fine. Take the money. No, Mimi, you're old and retired and you need it, and Mom and Dad are going to buy me, snow cones and Slurpees and bubble gum, and I'm good. Elizabeth, when somebody offers you money, you take it and you say thank you, and that is your response. And it shaped my whole life. She was also the same woman that handed me a little coin purse, this big, orange, never forget it, and it said Mad Money on it. And I was this little kid, and I said, what is Mad Money? She goes, you tuck it aside. It's a little something, something for yourself. Nobody knows about it. All women should have a little money. All women should have a little Mad Money and not feel guilty about that. So I want to give you permission. I'll have a little change purse with some Mad Money when you leave today as well. Thank you so much for everything. Thank you.
We really loved having her here today, and what a great speech.
Maybe you mentioned about the books for
Oh, yeah.
too.
And this is a little something from us.
Like Mad Money?
No.
Thank you. I'll be here the rest of the afternoon, big chunk of it. My book's over there for sale. I'll be happy to talk with you privately about any of this stuff called money.